Hello, Geekly here, and for the first time ever, I get to do a Tabor Hill and say, somebody sent me a gift. So, Jolteon Plays, if that's how you say your name, thank you very much. It's really appreciated. You didn't have to, and that's kind of epic, gotta be honest. But on with the show. I'll start with the obvious. You can hear me talking, and you're hearing me talk through a headset because I just can't get a microphone to work on this console. And there's probably a reason people use PCs. But this was a bit of a complicated one to write the text out for, again, on a console. So I figured I'd just sort of stick in a few words as and when it got complicated. But really, this is a simple match 2 puzzle created in Fortnite 1.0. The basic gist of what we're aiming for is a trigger in front of a prop. In this case, I've got 2 Gs. We're going to use the prop manipulator to make them appear and disappear as needed. The triggers will trigger that, and also a score manager, which will basically count to 2. So if the same one triggers, then it counts to 2, you get your score. It disables the prop manipulator. That's easy for you to say. The prop manipulators and the triggers, so you can't trigger them again, and they won't disappear when a trigger resets everything. So that's what I'm setting up here. We're doing the score manager for this one pair, and you get to see the pretty time-saving way of copying and pasting using event binding. This is a relay trigger. We've got to reset everything once the player has turned over 2 cards or made 2 props appear. And what we're doing here is basically, again, counting to 2. So once it's got 2 responses, or 2 props have been revealed, it will wait for half a second and then reset the board. So turn everything invisible, reset any counters that need to be reset, that sort of thing. It's got the delay because otherwise it might interfere with the props that we've just potentially disabled so that they don't disappear. And of course what I'm doing here is using a trigger as a target, and we're going to shoot the props to make them appear. You can use anything that sends a trigger. I've done after this a version that uses buttons because I thought that would work better for the level it's on. But yeah, you can do pretty much anything. And this is also a really good example of how copying and pasting saves you time using event bindings. Copying the pair of trigger and prop manipulator meant that they become their own events, but they're also still linked to the score manager and trigger that we didn't copy. So it just makes things so much easier. Of course, we need to be able to have non-matching pairs, so I'm just copying these again and changing the colour so that we've got another set that we can use to test the failure as well as the matching. Okay, first test of concept, and I forgot to make the prop manager hide, or prop manipulator hide it. And there's something up with scoring. Okay, we can work this out, surely. Can't be too hard. So yeah, it's time for me to go through and change the 4 of these to have hidden start. It's why we do the small version, so that when we copy it later, we're not going to copy this mistake over and over again. Foreshadowing. Okay, for some reason actually doesn't like me. I must have done something wrong, but I don't know what's going on there. And speaking of settings that I don't think have stuck, I figured the scoring is because this is supposed to be triggered every 2 signals, and because it's only on 1, it's resetting it each and every time you do a card. That's why it's not working. And there you go, transmit every X triggers 2. Oh, that something slightly off here. I'm guessing at some point I got the triggers mixed up. That's embarrassing. But generally speaking, it's working. Ish. Oh well, simple fix. Now what I'm doing here is something I just have a bad habit of, which is restoring a backup so that I don't have to worry about moving things around to fix a bug and then reset them. As long as I remember to fix anything that I fixed after the last backup, then everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. So yeah, this is where I'm trying to fix the issue with the wrong triggers being associated. I don't know how it happened, but I will use this as an opportunity to say, use sensible naming conventions for your devices. You could do better than I did here, but at least I could tell which one was sending the event to which device. Of course, with no win celebrations, the triumphant success of this actually working is kind of lost. But triumphant success is mine. And yeah, I'm restoring the last backup because I hate myself and I forgot to do another backup after I'd fixed the bugs. Luckily, I'm going to remember to go back and fix everything just like Groundhog Day. Sort of. When I originally started planning this through in my head, this was going to be the score manager that kept track of every event involving the props and would then run the reboot or reset trigger. And then I realized that I could just replace it by having the trigger send on to events. Easy. So what I'm reusing this for now is to trigger when all of the pairs have been matched. So each of the success pairs score managers has an output. This counts them, and when it's got to a full set of matches, which is going to be 6, then it triggers whatever we do for the success or celebration. My original plan was to do this as a live stream, since I was going to be talking anyway. This is why you've got the Blue Peter moments of his one I made earlier. In the end, I decided to record it because I just don't do talking in general. So you still get the big reveal. Before I start this game up in the video, comment below if you can work out the one deliberate mistake I made in order to prove why we need to be careful if we restore a backup. Okay, time to test this out, and... oh. The pause here is the sound of my brain melting because I realised I'd forgotten to fix the bug with the prop manipulators. Oh well. Okay, success. It seems to be working. There you go. Celebration time. Right, so this is the version of this puzzle that I've stuck in an escape room map I've been working on. It's basically the same, apart from using triggers, I've used buttons, and when you do get a successful pair, the letter you find appears up on the wall. Alright, so as I solve the puzzle, I'll simply end this with thank you very much for watching. I hope the sound of my boring British voice without any personality whatsoever wasn't too distracting, and I hope you can find something useful to get from this. I don't have an outro because I don't talk, but I will say you guys are awesome. You make this channel worthwhile, and I hope you go out there and create something awesome. Thank you.